New life for the Danube. The Danube's greatest riches lie in the green corridor of wetlands, floodplain forests and wet meadows that follow much of the river's course. These wetland areas are the most biologically productive and produce a host of essential goods and services for humans, from fish and fowl to clean water and recreation. They are important for flood and water management, acting like a sponge to soak up floodwaters and gradually release them. Wetlands purify water and act as carbon sinks, binding greenhouse gases. They are not only cheap to maintain, but also save money, and they are fun and beautiful. And yet most of the Danube's useful riches have been lost. As a result, 80% of the Danube's floodplains have disappeared, and with them the goods and benefits that many long took for granted. But over the past 3 decades, a remarkable revolution has been taking place. We have begun to appreciate the value of the treasures we have lost, and we are taking steps not only to protect what remains, but actually regain at least some of what has disappeared. Over the past 20 to 30 years, from the Black Forest to the Black Sea, millions of hectares of Danube floodplains have come under protection, while tens of thousands of hectares have been restored. Many of the remaining wetland areas on the upper Danube in Germany have been brought under protection, and some restored, including perhaps most spectacularly those on the Isar River near the centre of Munich. In Austria, in 1984, tens of thousands of people demonstrated their support for the floodplains stretching from Vienna to Bratislava. Their efforts led to the creation of the Danube Floodplain National Park, one of the most popular recreation areas in the region. The fall of the Iron Curtain in 1989 suddenly exposed the rich wetlands of the Morava and Dyje rivers that had been protected in its folds, and opened new possibilities for their protection. Governments and NGOs from the Czech Republic, Slovakia and Austria have worked together to bring the unique area under international protection and to maintain its unique wetland meadows. In Slovenia, former wetland areas of the Mura River are gaining a new lease of life, while in Hungary, restoration efforts are moving forward from Danube Islands to the Tisza floodplains. The agreement signed by Hungary and Croatia in 2009 to establish a transboundary biosphere reserve on the Drava River paves the way to create Europe's largest riverine protected area with as many as 630,000 hectares, including areas along the Drava, Mura and Danube rivers in Slovenia, Austria as well as in Serbia, including the Kopački Rit in Croatia as well as Gornje Podunavlje in Serbia. It is a massive area of unique natural and cultural landscapes, Europe's Amazon. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, wetlands and other areas have come under protection in Una National Park. At the turn of the millennium, the governments of Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova and Ukraine signed an agreement to establish the Lower Danube Green Corridor along the Danube's last 1,000 kilometers. It was and is the most ambitious wetland protection and restoration initiative in Europe, calling for protection of nearly 1 million hectares of floodplains and restoration of over 224,000 hectares of wetlands. 10 years on, the target for protection has been even exceeded, with 1.4 million hectares of wetland areas along the lower Danube River under some form of protection. Progress with restoration is further behind, but moving forward with well over 60,000 hectares realized to date. On the Ukrainian side of the delta, authorities and NGOs have taken steps towards the realization of their vision for the area's future. Among them, bulldozers have brought new life to Tataru Island, reconnecting the former wetland to the life-giving river. In what once was little more than a barren wasteland, pike and perch now thrive, attracting anglers and new hopes for local livelihoods. On Tataru Island, as in so many places across the Danube basin, the river is returning to its former floodplains, bringing with it life and benefits for nature and for people. Let us continue giving life to the Danube, so the Danube can continue giving life to us.